us in the Loud House. One boy, 10 girls, wouldn't trade it for the world. Loud House.
Time for lunch.
Today's Loud House episode was requested by Denny. A Fridge Too Far. This is the 5th episode of Season 3 of The Loud House, but it's overall 106. Something about this episode I really appreciate more than any other episode that has a lot more to offer, that always has food in it. There's a lot of good things to talk about, so let's go to the icebox and rate it.
Mac and cheese bites.
Hurry up there, Rika!
Lincoln, what'd you get for number 1?
Mac and cheese.
Wipe up that drool, you little baby!
What the hell's wrong with you? Why do you keep saying mac and cheese?
I can't focus at all today. Last night, Dad made his famous mac and cheese bites for dinner. And in order to make all that cheesy goodness last, I saved 3 bites for after school. But if I'm gonna get through this day without losing my mind, I'm just gonna have to stop thinking about them.
Stay focused!
Well, then think of something else, Lincoln. Hell, I don't think so much as food anyway, until my 15 hours are up. There's so many other things I can think of besides food anyway. Disney's Peter Pan, horror movies, Jason Voorhees, dressing up as a different person to impress people out there in the town, singing Friend Like Me from Will Smith, even watching a few more Loud House episodes, or at least read the graphic novels of them.
Today's the big day, just gotta chill the duck liver pate. I'll show 'em that I'm a star with my yummy take on caviar.
Whoa, see that face, and I like what I'm hearing from this guy.
Tell me!
Wait a minute.
Get this, Dad is actually getting himself ready for arrival from a food critic investor, and yet he wants to make sure that he's giving off a good impression to this guy. If he's successful enough, then Lynn Sr. will get the investment to open up his own restaurant.
This is just air in a jar.
Lemon air in a jar.
Honey, no offense, but why are you making all this showy stuff? What's wrong with your famous lasagna?
Honey, this is Timothy McCole. This guy travels all over the world tasting exciting and exotic food. I can't just serve him a hunk of noodles.
Well, I like the hunk who made those noodles, and I think anything he cooks is delicious.
That's real touchy. You're gonna get me bawling like a baby anytime now.
Get off the stage!
Mac and cheese.
Stop speaking zombie. It's not cool. So Lincoln finally gets to the refrigerator and finally opens his container. And then...
2 bites?
What the fuck?
Lincoln feeling so much pissed off about it. He goes and confronts all 10 of his sisters to figure out which greedy vulture actually swiped his 3rd mac and cheese. Hell, if one of them wanted something so badly, they should have saved one for their own. It's so fucking common sense.
I'm not saying it was me.
It was you!
But if I did take one, I only did it because Lola ate the rest of Dad's tater tot bake.
You here to tell us your explanation, Lola?
I'm not copying to eating the tater tot bake, but if I did, it was because Luann ate the last slice of Dad's pie.
I'm gonna keep my eye on you, Raggedy Ann. What's your excuse, funny girl?
Actually, I didn't eat it. Oh, my bad. I smashed it in Lynn's face.
I like her.
Yay! Fucking well done!
Hallelujah! Holy shit!
Woo! Hallelujah for Luann. Finally does a joke on Lynn. Anyways, how the fuck did the sisters not see that this is a problem? The refrigerator's like the freaking Wild Wild West. I feel like I'm playing a bad part in Capaloo.
Nobody likes having their leftovers swiped. But we're a big family. You can't expect to protect every little bite of food that you want.
You know, before I can even jump into that statement, you know what I fantasize about? When it's really late at night? Junk food. I have it all safe and protected. I got a bunch of Little Debbie cakes, a few Flago root beer, Red Pop, grape soda, shitload of bunch of Reese's, whatever different types they got. A Butterfingers, a Three Musketeers, Snickers, a few bags of M&Ms, not including the peanut kind. And I also usually keep 5 bags of gummy lifesavers. I hide them under my clothes, in the bottom of the hamper, and even in my mattress. And even a third place I hide them in, which I won't even mention. which is probably my best private security place. That none of my siblings wouldn't dare to actually enter my bedroom and take all my good stuff. And now Lincoln thinks,
Can't I?
No, you can't.
Oh, you wanna bet?
and this is where shit is gonna get real funny. We start with Luann opening the refrigerator. She's looking at Lincoln's container and thinks,
I really want one of those mac and cheese bites, but Lincoln's gonna have a conniption. But then again, watching Lincoln have a conniption is fun. Ow!
That'd hurt.
hey Luann, should've never took one step ahead. Okay, maybe that one sucked.
The court agrees. That joke sucked.
Now Luann starts to get the idea of what Lincoln thought in the first place. But you were being the little devil who tried to make Lincoln have a fit about it, and yet you stepped over the line. I finally got one right. Now we have Lenny come into the refrigerator, and it's one of the most hilarious and most shocking image I ever seen on Lenny ever.
Ooh, one of Dad's yummy brownies. Oh wait, didn't Luann call this? Well, she won't mind if I just break off a little corner.
Holy sh**.
Is Lenny turning into a supervillain? I mean, holy fuck. When was the last time anyone's ever seen Lenny with that face? It's funny and scary at the same time. I know. You wouldn't expect Lenny to make a face like that. Lori, Lynn, Lucy, and even especially Lola you expect. But Lenny, the sweetest and dumbest of the bunch, is what makes this funny and scary at the same time. I'm not completely scared fucking shitless of seeing this face on her. I'm smiling all about this to see how she can be a little devil.
Oh, my
Oh, Luann put that there to protect her leftovers? Well, I can play that game too.
Wow. I didn't realize that Lenny actually had a brain. She should really listen to her conscience more often.
Just let your conscience be your guide.
And as this shit couldn't be possibly any more funnier, Luna comes in the kitchen later.
Am I blue? Am I blue?
See, now me, I wouldn't have gone this way.
Lana now comes in the kitchen and being the little sneaky little raccoon. Tries to take a bite of a KFC chicken. Motherfuckers! Whose cruel, sick idea is this? You could have killed this kid! Jesus fuck, while you're at it, why did I try to add a snapping turtle inside the refrigerator?
I stand corrected.
That's it! You guys really crossed the line this time.
I'd say that line was crossed when this happened, brah. Or this. Or this.
Something tells me Lisa had something to do with that.
What did he do to you? He fucked me in the ass. Not literally.
This is crazy! We can't go on like this! If someone could gently let me down, I think I have an idea.
Thanks for the help, Luann, in case I break my neck when I fall and hit the frickin' floor. Something devises a different plan to how to restore all much their leftovers. He devises a really super intelligent plan with the help of Lisa.
Sorry.
Asshole!
Per Lincoln's request, I calculated the refrigerator's cubic footage and divided it into 11 equally sized zones, creating the optimal conditions for what I like to call dairy détente.
Everybody gets a zone. And the genius part is that no one can mistake theirs for someone else's because they're color-coded.
Holy shit!
Beautiful. Simply beautiful.
That is genius, but that's also amazing. I wonder if there are refrigerators that can actually do that. You know, for all the color-coded, for actually sorting what's the food groups out from vegetables to meat to dairy products, you know? Maybe one day in the future we may actually get a refrigerator that actually can do some color codes like that. Like maybe a Samsung kind of refrigerator. So now they gotta divide Dad's leftovers and put them in their zones. So after that big catastrophe, the siblings finally divide up the leftovers.
Chicken, I get his minestrone. Lenny, it's pronounced minestrone. I call it minestrone because it's mine.
Okay.
Nice job! Thanks for the assist.
You're welcome. For payment, I will happily accept your last mac and cheese bite.
No fucking way.
But something goes down the hill when Lynn Sr. brings all his ingredients home and he randomly puts them in on each different shelf. When he realizes that he actually forgot something, He leaves the kitchen. First, we have Luann and Lisa into the kitchen.
Can't wait to dig into Dad's mashed potatoes. And my destination is the green zone, where I intend to feast on Father's savory meatloaf. Num num.
And they find some mistaken items in their zone. Someone put something in Luann's cell called uni, whatever the fuck it is.
That would be a low-fat, high-protein globular animal in the Echinoidea class. Street name, sea urchin.
Sweet Jesus.
People can actually eat sea urchins? I never knew that. I thought they could actually eat some crazy sea crap like a pufferfish or stonefish. Hell, some people can actually eat carp, which is disgusting. God, I hate fucking carp.
Gag.
So, the siblings dump one thing after another that actually is mistaken in their own zone, and they tend to toss it out, and Cliff the cat eats every last bit of it until he becomes a big fat Garfield cat. So when Senior arrives home, and by his front doorstep waits Timothy McCole.
On time, just cancel the appointment and move my 3:15 to 3 o'clock, my 4:15 to 4 o'clock, and my pedicure to 5.
By the way, you want to know something about Timothy McCole that might interest you? He is voiced by Bill Mumy, who began his career as a child actor and appearing in a series of The Twilight Zone. He was in Alfred Hitchcock Presents. One of his iconic roles was Will Robinson in Lost in Space. And he was in a film called Bless the Beasts and Children, which I've never seen before. You want to know something else? He is also the father of Lillian Mumy, who is also the voice of Lenny in the show of The Loud House. That's right, you heard me. Timothy McCole is voiced by Lenny's dad. Now back to the review. Lynn Sr. prepares to cook for Timothy, but when he opens the refrigerator, all his stuff is gone.
Is everything all right?
Of course. I always scream when I open the fridge. See?
And Senior stalls Timothy with a juice box. Really? A juice box. Even a 6-year-old could suck that whole box dry. Hell, I could drink that whole box within 5 seconds.
Dad, are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. There's an investor in the living room waiting to try my food and all my ingredients are gone.
Ew.
Well, there's my pate.
Ew.
And my caviar.
Ew.
And my uni.
Cliff, you big pussy. Cat, that is. I don't know why. I actually love that face that Cliff's got. It looks like he's saying I'm a high cat. Like I'm a stoner cat.
It wasn't Cliff's fault, Dad. We threw out your ingredients. He must have gotten them out of the trash.
What?
What?
What? What? What? What?
What?
What? What? What? Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time.
I'm sorry. I won't do it again. We didn't know they were yours.
See, we kinda divided the fridge into zones because we'd been stealing each other's leftovers.
So when we found your stuff in our zones, we assumed someone was violating the system.
Well, so much for serving your investor.
But now I have nothing to serve my investor. And he's almost done with his juice box.
That kind of shit really annoys me, as much as it was from Disney's Hercules.
Thirsty?
Just as Lynn Sr. is about to give up and his heart is grieving to tell him the bad news, Lincoln has so much of a super idea to actually serve him some of the leftovers that they've kept in the refrigerator.
Oh, it's a nice thought, guys, but Tim won't want any of that. He's used to eating the most amazing food in the world.
Tough kitty.
Nothing's perfect in this world. Hell, even some leftovers can be the most amazing food in the world.
Well, I guess it's worth a shot.
That's the spirit. So Lynn Sr. cooks up a dish of lasagna and serves it to Tim. And then, you know what? I'm just gonna stop talking and let the suspense build up on this one.
Well, Lynn, I'm gonna give it to you straight. This is one of the best meals I've ever eaten.
I knew it was a dumb idea. I should have never served it. Wait, what?
I've been all over the world, and every chef serves me the same thing. Caviar, pate, uni. It's boring and uninspired. Do you know at the last place I ate, the chef served me air in a jar?
Wow, I wonder what moron almost served him that.
What a bozo.
Yeah, what a moron.
So Tim actually enjoyed the actual dish that Lynn actually made. Signs a check, and he wants to be in the Lynn Loud business. And he finally got his own restaurant that he plans to get in the future.
Thank you, Tim. I don't know what to say.
I don't do hugs.
We do hugs.
And all the siblings share a hug with him, and the ending gets so much better and even a bit hilarious. Lynn's proud of his kids. Rita has a smile on her face, feeling so happy for him, and decides to call a celebration of having some of Lynn Sr.'s chocolate cake. Wait, come to think of it, I didn't see any chocolate cake in the refrigerator while watching the episode.
Well, that's because I stashed it under the couch.
How dare you?
What, I can't claim any leftovers?
I'll go score us some.
Lynn, wait!
Ah!
You motherfucker!
That's funny! Right now, that is funny!
Stop acting! I'm serious!
You idiot!
Hey, what's so funny?
A Fridge Too Far. Very hilarious. 90 stars. I kind of disliked the first half of this episode, but I really liked when it got into the second half of this episode. This is what really got the highlight and the humor going. This episode I love because of some of the jokes and how the sisters try getting their own back on others for attempting to steal their food. As Lenny's Mind Stone joke, if you can even call it that, it made me laugh so much, but she does have a point. It's hers, so she deserves to call it Mind Stone. That joke was funny. However, there is one little nitpick about this. If only they would have kept the zones, but they should have added a magenta zone for Rita and a teal one for Lynn in the refrigerator. I mean, they deserve one too, don't they? If you were to watch this episode again, somehow, for some strange reason, the kids are a little out of their characters because they were trying to either injure or try to kill each other if one of them was actually going to steal another one's food. Hell, I would get pissed off too if somebody ever took my leftovers without myself knowing. But not much of a big deal. But the gags are light enough where they never do anything bad, and the humor is still pretty funny all the way through. I thought the kids attempting of securing their own food was pretty comical, although their fridge dividing method was cool and all, and it led into a hilarious misunderstanding with Lynn Sr.'s ingredients. But the ending was good. And nothing else doesn't even get so much funnier until it gets to the end. I love where Lynn gets hit and turns blue in the end. She looks like one of those blue guys that has a tune that goes like this. I'm the Loud House Critic, and I gotta get my leftover pizza, tater tots, chocolate, Salisbury steak, and cake.
Research from my cryogenic freezer. The future needs my brain. No hairnet. That's another infraction. I am trying to find scientific guidance on the forging of social bonds.
Trapped inside this tiny space may sound bad.